I'm 29 years old, born and raised in Donghua, Hungha, Taibin. I've been married for 5 years now, and my wife and I live in a newly built house right next to her parents. Both families have always been close. My mom, who's been widowed for quite some time, often stops by to help. And my father-in-law, he's good at construction, was always around when the house was being built or fixed up. At first, I didn't think much of it. Honestly, I even felt glad that the two of them had some company in each other. They'd call each other brother and sister in that casual way, and I thought it was harmless. But then, one hot afternoon, my wife and I got off work early and brought along a coworker to check in on the house. The moment we opened the door, we froze. Right there in the living room, my mom and my father-in-law were sitting side by side, holding hands, shoulders touching, looking at each other with an intimacy I couldn't believe. My wife collapsed onto the tiled floor, sobbing uncontrollably. I stood paralyzed, unable to process what I was seeing. My coworker, red-faced with embarrassment, just stood like a statue. The neighbors, of course, began whispering. The mother-in-law and father-in-law acting like lovers. Something you'd never expect to see in real life. From that day on, our home turned heavy with tension. My wife was furious, demanding a divorce, saying she couldn't bear watching her father be betrayed and her mother-in-law caught up in scandal. And me? I was stuck in the middle, between my mom and my wife. I still loved my wife. I didn't want our marriage to fall apart over something the older generation had done. But the more I saw them sneaking around, the more anger and shame ate at me. Sometimes I told myself, maybe it's true. Older people need companionship too. But then I'd think about the price, my marriage on the line. I couldn't talk to anyone, couldn't confide in friends. I just bottled it all up, cursing the twisted fate that dropped me into a storyline straight out of some late-night soap opera. Takeaways, from the expert's perspective. Listening to a relationship counselor later on, I finally came to terms with a few things. 1, at their age, it's natural for older people to feel affection. But boundaries matter. They can be friends, sure, but anything more risks hurting their own children. 2, what truly matters is the happiness of my wife and me. We need to focus on building our own family, tackling our struggles with infertility, instead of letting old flames destroy what we're trying to create. 3, if our parents don't draw the line themselves, then we need to move out, keep some distance, and let them realize that their choices are threatening the happiness of their kids. In the end, I've learned this. Love in old age can be reckless, but family responsibility is non-negotiable. The older generation may still feel desire, but it's unfair for their children to carry the consequences.